Okay, so I'm very, very sick, so excuse for any noises that I might make while recording this. But one fight that I literally just saw randomly online, and everybody was just completely wrong about it to an insane extent, is actually Marceline versus Flame Princess. And I want to clear out this matchup once and for all because it's not actually that hard to deduce. It's a very direct matchup, even though they haven't had many interactions with each other. So, first, let's look at all the forms that they have. So, Flame Princess has the normal state that she's in most of the time. Then she can grow giant, as we see in her second episode and in her fight with Ice King. And also, there is the version of herself from Elementals where she turns into a blue dragon as her power is greatly increased and her flame turns blue as it's way hotter. Marceline actually has a little more forms. She has her demon form, which is her normal state, as she's half demon, half human from her parents. Then she defeats the vampires, absorbs their powers, and becomes a vampire. That's the vampire queen, base Marceline we see in the show usually. Then there's that one time she was the ruler of the Nightosphere, where she had the amulet which has concentrated pure essence of evil in it and made her like Hansen. And what we see her use in the finale and what we use the Vampire King turn into after his essence got taken out is the Cloud Essence version of her, which is immensely powerful to the point where Bubblegum actually mentioned that the essence of the Vampire King could whack reality of its boom or something like that. I don't remember. Okay, I'm sick. Give me a break. But it's very powerful actually. So first, let's look at some of the feats and stuff from those characters. So Flame Princess is actually able to beat Ice King, someone who on a good day can fight Finn and Jake and beat them, but also on a bad day can get like one-shotted by them. So he's kind of inconsistent, but she actually beats him while he's using a lot of his power. Like he literally controlled a mountain to find her, and she literally fights him back. So and beats him and destroys the Ice Kingdom as well. So she's pretty strong in that regard. She fights one of the Golb monsters. She is stronger than Finn consistently, at least for most of the show. And she actually stalemates Princess Bubblegum, who had prep time. And that is impressive because Princess Bubblegum with prep time is actually a problem. She's kind of like a Batman kind of character. She's a crazy scientist that creates a lot of things that are actually more powerful than herself. And especially since she was prepped to confront Flame Princess, she was specifically equipped to fight her, and it was still a stalemate, with Flame Princess more or less winning, but the fight ending in a truce between the kingdoms instead. Marcelino, on the other hand, is able to fight the vampires, of which most, the main ones, I mean, the ones from Vampire King's court, most of them are individually stronger than any in the main group of Princess Bubblegum or um, Pepbutt or Finn and Jake. Like individually, they're stronger than them. And the moon, actually, unironically, is stronger than all of them combined. But she also takes out the Vampire King, who's also stronger than all of them combined. And Marceline herself essentially states that she could defeat and kill all of them if she wanted to, and it wouldn't be any problem. Even Pepbutt has contingencies in case she turns evil because he knows she could kill all of them, meaning that she is stronger than Princess Bubblegum, Pepbutt, Finn, Jake, Ice King, BMO, LSP, all the usual suspects. And the same base Marceline is also able to fight one of Golb's monsters. Pretty good, actually. So now that we established kind of the basics, how do we determine who's stronger? Well, actually, it's pretty easy, because there's direct scaling between those characters. Like, there's direct fights that they evolve with that connect them. Oh my god, I'm so sick. My nose is so stuffed. Fuck. Anyway, I'm back. Where was I? Oh, okay. How do I determine who's stronger? Well, actually, it's pretty easy. So, the first thing we should look at is their fights with common enemies. So, one of those enemies is one of the Galb monsters. We see that, along with Fern, Flame Princess can hurt them, or at least annoy them with her attacks, but the Galb monsters at the end of the day can just hit them and one-tap them. Whereas Marceline in base is actually able to fight them and even tear one of its eyes out. And when entering her cloud form, she's even able to absolutely obliterate one of them. Not to mention that when Flame Princess tried to use one of her stronger attacks, a freaking volcano, to attack the Vampire King's Essence Cloud, she couldn't even damage it. So we know for a fact that she probably can't even damage the version of Marceline that can turn into the Cloud Essence. And we know that Marceline is way stronger than her, as she was able to defeat an enemy that Flame Princess couldn't do any damage to. And I mentioned Fern earlier because Fern and Flame Princess actually do relatively the same in this fight with the Gold Monster. And I'm not saying that Fern could fight Flame Princess because she obviously has an elemental advantage over him, but what I'm saying is that they actually perform pretty similar. And we know for a fact that Marceline is stronger than Fern and Gumball. That's actually one of the reasons why the plot of the episode where Fintar 17 even happens, because they have to create this force field so Marceline can't get in, because they knew that if she was there, she would obliterate Gumball, Chicle, and, Fern. They even retreat even though they have Fern right there. Fern is more of a Finn level character, and Flame Princess is about the same level, while Marceline is actually strong enough to defeat Finn and Jake probably at the same time. And if none of this is convincing, probably the easiest argument you could make is the fact that they actually fought. I'm sorry. Goddamn. They have actually fought before. Many might not remember, but in Elements, we actually see an elemental Flame Princess fight against the goat, Marshmalline the Campfire Queen, which, by the way, it's such a fire name for a marshmallow candy version of Marceline. I can't believe they even thought about it. That's so fire. But even though Marshmalline is a marshmallow, she's a marshmallow. What's the weakness of every marshmallow? Fire. Even though Marceline is made of marshmallow here, even though she's not trying to fight because she's very dumped down and she's very happy and very airheaded, which is out of character for her, even though Flame Princess is powered up by being an elemental, she's at full elemental power at this time, she has the elemental advantage against the freaking marshmallow, Marceline isn't trying, while Flame Princess was literally trying to kill Finn like the last episode, so she's definitely trying to kill her right now. And Marshmalline still toys with Flame Princess like it's nothing. She bullies her for like a minute and a half, and then at the end, all Flame Princess can do is just melt her face a little bit, which Marceline didn't even care for. She was not even damaged. You barely felt it. She was still smiling. She didn't really care. That's Flame Princess's best feat, with all the advantages of being superpowered by being an elemental, being against someone who's not trying, being very aggressive and actually trying, and fighting a fucking marshmallow. She barely managed to like hit her once and put her out of commission for like 10 seconds before she got up, still being happy and not caring. That's like the best scenario for her, and she still didn't really do much. Not to mention that Marceline also bullied Patience even after Patience turned into an elemental, and only turned into a candy because she gave herself up after it was impossible to save PB anymore. So Marceline is canonically in her base form, well, not her base form, but in her vampire form, she's already strong enough or stronger than elementals, which is mental, ironically. And then let's think about her abilities. She can shapeshift, she can regen, she has mind control, she has telekinesis, she has invisibility, she can suck souls, and she can suck red and blood. What is blood made of? Plasma. And what color is blood? Red. What color is Flame Princess made of? Reddish, orange, And also, what is fire made of? Plasma. So, arguably, you could argue that she could suck her up. Pause. At least in her normal form. When she turns blue, obviously she couldn't. But maybe, because it's plasma at the end of the day, which is the same as blood. And Marceline can suck blood. So, even thinking about... But even without her being able to suck her color or her fire out of herself, like, all those abilities, plus the fact that she's directly stronger than her, and that even if she somehow loses in base form, she has the cloud form, which Flame Princess has nothing to do against. And even if that doesn't move you, she still has the Nitosphere version. Not necessarily that she can activate the Nitosphere version, but she can, if we're talking about that version specifically, that one is probably immune to fire, given that she lives in hell. So Flame Princess couldn't do anything probably against her. The only argument I could see for Flame Princess is to say that the sun hurts Marceline, and Flame Princess is made of fire or plasma, just like the sun, but we quite literally don't know how that works. At no point there's any indication that Flame Princesses or Flame Queens fire ever is able to hurt Marceline, or that fire in general hurts Marceline. It's literally just the sun. We don't know why, it just is. So yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that Marceline beats the fuck out of Flame Princess. It's not even close. There's not even a debate. She claps her cheeks, pause.